Welcome to the Explainer. Today we're doing something a little different. We're taking a pretty simple local ad and using it to unpack a hugely important international process. We're going to figure out what it means to get an international passport for your documents, a little something called an apostille.
So, let's just imagine for a second. Maybe you've landed that dream job overseas, or you're planning this amazing wedding on a beach somewhere exotic. You've got your birth certificate, your degree, all your important papers packed and ready to go. You're set, right? Well, maybe not.
And here's where you'd hit a snag. The problem is, that official piece of paper from your home country, it isn't automatically accepted everywhere else. The government in that other country has no easy way to know if your document is the real deal or just a really good fake.
So, how in the world do you solve this kind of international trust issue? Well, believe it or not, the ad that got us started on this whole topic actually points us right to the solution. Right there in the ad, they use this word apostilled. It's kind of the secret password that makes your documents ready to travel. But what does that actually mean? What is an apostille?
Okay, so here's the deal. An apostille is basically a special certificate that gets attached to your document. It was created by an international agreement called the Hague Convention, and it's recognized by over 120 countries. Think of it like a stamp of approval that tells another country, hey, you can trust this. This document is legit, and it came from the right people. It's that simple.
The service in the ad we saw promises a seamless, worry-free process, which, let's be honest, is exactly what you want when you're dealing with important paperwork and deadlines. So let's break down what that journey to getting authenticated usually looks like.
At its heart, it's a pretty logical three-step dance. First, you submit your document to the right government office, usually something like a Secretary of State's office, or you give it to a service that handles it for you. Then, that document gets a thorough review to make sure the signatures are real and everything's in order. And finally, boom, the official apostille certificate is issued and physically attached to your document. Now it's ready for the world stage.
Now, you could absolutely navigate this whole process yourself, or you could use a service like the one in our ad. And if you go that route, the ad itself actually gives us a fantastic little checklist of what you should be looking for in a good partner.
First thing you want to see? Experience. The service in the ad mentions they've been doing this for over a decade, and that really matters, This isn't just about moving papers around. It's about being incredibly precise. An experienced team knows all the little quirks and changing rules for different countries and different documents.
Next up, and this is a big one, let's talk money. You want total transparency. The service makes a point to say, don't worry about hidden fees. And that's exactly what you're looking for. You want clear, all-inclusive pricing. If a service is being cagey about the total cost, that's a red flag.
And just to give us a real-world example of what that transparency looks like, the provider in the ad actually gives us a starting price, under $150, and that includes the government fees. See? That kind of upfront info is a great sign that they're being straight with you. And finally, take a look at the actual features they offer. Are you in a huge hurry for a visa? Well, then expedited processing is going to be your best friend. Do you live out in the middle of nowhere? Then nationwide reach and local convenience could be a total game changer. These are the details that turn a stressful ordeal into a smooth process.
All right, so we've covered the how, but let's zoom out a bit and talk about the why. Why is this system so important? Why did more than 100 countries all agree to use this one specific piece of paper? So here's the real takeaway. The apostille isn't just bureaucratic red tape. It's actually a super important piece of the plumbing that makes our modern, globalized world function. It creates this reliable, predictable system that lets one country's legal system trust another's. And that makes everything from international business and adoption to just getting married abroad possible.
And that brings us to a really interesting final thought. In this age of digital everything, of blockchain and e-signatures, there's still this incredible power in a simple, standardized piece of paper backed by an international treaty. It's a fantastic reminder that at the very heart of all global interaction, there's one simple, absolutely vital thing: trust.